So today we're going to do a project in Photoshop using blending modes to create kind of an abstract looking photo. So what you need to do to start off is of course open Photoshop, and then next to get yourself set up you're going to go into File, New, and this is to set up a blank canvas that you can create your work in. And we're going to make them 8 by 10. So right now I have mine set to 8 wide, 10 inches high, and I'm going to change my resolution to 300. I also want to make sure that the measurements are in inches and not any of these other units of measurement. So inches. And now if you want to change it to horizontal, you just click the little person right here, or if you want vertical, go back to this one. I'm actually going to work in horizontal, so I'm going to click this one and you can see it automatically changed to 10 wide, 8 high. My resolution is still at 300. So I'm going to click create, and Photoshop will give me this nice blank document. The first thing I want to do in this document is I'm going to save it. So I'm going to go to File, Save As, and this needs to get saved into your personal folder so that you stay organized. So I'm going to go to Documents over on the side. I'm going to go to you're going to go to your block, your name, and then this is in blending modes. So I'm going to change this to the file name to my last name. So I'm going to do Christian, and then I'm going to do the project name, which is blending modes. And then I'm going to do a block. So I'm just going to do A1, and then you're going to probably do more than one of these. So add a number to this one. So this is my first one. So I'm going to do -1 since this is the first one. And I want to make sure that my file type at this point is still a Photoshop file. So I'm going to make sure that's changed to Photoshop, and you can see that it automatically changed to .psd up here. Do not type it in there. Make sure you change it by clicking on the drop down below. All right, so Photoshop file, and I'm going to click save. Now I can see up here that my file is saved correctly. I can see my last name, the project name, my block, and then this is my first one. So now I'm ready to get started. So what I need to do is pull in some images that I'm going to use for my project. So before you get started at this point, you need to make sure that you've downloaded yours from Google Drive. So I already have mine, so I'm going to go to File, Place Embedded, and it's going to open up my file. So if yours doesn't open directly to yours, you would go to Documents again, your block, your name, whichever project you're working on, and then your images should be there if you put them there. And then you can already see I've got my Photoshop file that I'm working on right now in here as well. So the first picture I'm going to pull in is going to be this one. So I'm going to go ahead and place that. And when it comes in, it's going to come in small. So, and we also see this X over here, which tells, like X across the picture, which tells us that this is just here as a preview and it's not actually embedded into my file. So I'm going to slide this up to make room to enlarge the picture. I'm going to push it up here, and then I'm going to hold down Shift on my keyboard to scale the image proportionally big enough to fill up this space. So I'm going to put it right down here. All right, and then to get rid of this X, I'm going to double click, and now my picture is embedded. I've applied that change. I also want to make sure that my tool over here is set onto the Move tool and not any of these other options. So I'm going to make sure that's nice and dark gray. And now I want to do this, now I want to do this again, so I'm going to place that, over here you can see that I have one layer, and that's this image. So now I want to add another one in there. So I'm going to go again to File, Place Embedded, and now I want to pick my next one, which I'm actually going to do this one, which is vertical, and I'm going to place that. And I have an idea for this one. I'm actually going to turn it around upside down. So you can see when the mouse hovers outside of these corners, it gives this little like curved arrow, and that means I can rotate it. So if I hold down Shift, it'll rotate in 15-degree increments. So you can see the little degree changing. So I'm actually going to flip it all the way around until it's upside down. Whoops, go back a little bit to right here. And now I'm also going to scale it a lot larger. So I'm going to pull it up, and I'm going to make this much bigger to fill up this frame again. So here we go. Holding down Shift to make sure that everything stays in proportion, because we don't want anything stretched. So maybe like right there. Is that going to be big enough? Yes, perfect. And then I'm going to drag this down. So it's okay that things go off of the side of the blank canvas. It's fine that things are hanging over because the only part that we're going to be able to see is this 8x10 canvas. So I'm going to double click to apply that change. All right, so now I have two pictures in here. We can see two layers over here. And now is the part where we're going to blend them together. So we're going to use blending modes, which is usually by default set to normal. So right here, this is the blending mode. So I'm going to click on this, and you have all these choices. So what I want you to do is click through each one to see what type of effect it has on your picture. So when I click dissolve, I'm not saying a whole lot. We're going to go to the next one and just keep on clicking down until you see one that creates an interesting effect. But I want you, don't stop at the one that you like. I want you to see what they all do. So go ahead and keep clicking through just to see what effects they make. It's kind of neat. Keep going. I kind of like that one. Oops, I clicked. And then here we go. That makes the sky really interesting. So I think I'm actually going to go back up here to, I think it was multiply that I liked the best. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do the multiply. So in this, you're creating a composition, even though it's abstract. So what I want to do is I kind of like how the feet are here. So I'm actually going to try to get them so they're both on this ceiling. So I'm going to click back on this previous layer. And over here, I want to make sure that auto select is unclicked, so that the layer that I've selected over here stays the layer that I'm moving. So I'm going to actually make this larger so that her feet will fit on that ceiling. So I'm going to hold down Shift again. We'll see if I can get them to both be on the ceiling. It looks like she's standing or hanging down from the ceiling. Here we go. Like right there. So I'm going to double click to apply that change. So I think that looks kind of neat. So now I'm going to pull in a second or third image actually. So I'm going to go back to this top layer over here, and now I'm going to do that same process again. So I'm going to go to File, Place Embedded, and now I think I will pull in, I think I'm going to do this one. So I'm going to click Place, and that came in a lot larger than my other one. So I'm going to scoot this down and then hold down Shift, fill up that canvas. Oops, back a little bit, right there. I'm going to double click to apply that change. And now I'm going to do the same thing through the blending mode. So automatically I'm going to try multiply and see where that gets me. It's really dark, so I'm going to see what else I can figure out. So I'm going to keep going down this list and see. Oh, that's kind of interesting how it kind of sticks to the white areas. It's kind of cool. I'm going to keep going down. I don't want to lose too much of the detail because I thought that part was really neat. So I'm trying to save that with whatever change I apply. So it's kind of interesting. Ooh, I kind of like that. I'm just going to keep on going here. I think I'm going to actually go back up here to, was it hard light maybe? No, overlay, no, soft light. I think that one's kind of neat. And another thing I might do is maybe try to rotate this around so that the colors interact a little differently. So I'm going to grab that corner, spin it around here. And I actually think I like that a lot better. So I'm going to save that. All right, so now I've got my picture. I could add in another layer if I wanted by going back up to File, Place Embedded, and choosing another image. But I think I'm going to leave it like that. So I'm done for now. So the first thing I want to do is just save. so that I saved any changes that I've made up to this point. So I'm going to click OK here. And that's going to save my Photoshop, my updated Photoshop file. And then, because we need to turn these in Schoology, so they need to be saved as JPEGs, I'm going to go back up to File again, and I'm going to go File, Save As. And this time, I'm not going to change this name at all because it's already how I want it. And instead, all I need to do is just come down here to the drop-down menu and change it from Photoshop to JPEG. And now, see how it automatically changed, updated it to JPEG, and then I'm going to click Save. And make sure this is 12, this is maximum quality, I want the large file, and I'm going to click OK. And then it's going to generate my JPEG file. So that is how you create an abstract photograph using your own work in Photoshop and blending modes. All right, have fun creating. Bye.